Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. So glad you're with us today. We're talking now about signs and symptoms that you may have indicating you might have a nutritional deficiency. Now, some people say, I'm fine, I eat whatever I want. Well, your body needs a certain amount in a certain mix of nutrients. And if you're not giving it what it needs, you will eventually have to pay the piper. You're going to have to, you're going to have problems, always. You can't outrun nutritional deficiencies. And I have to laugh. I had a patient just the other day, and heavy-set guy and hardening of the arteries. I mean, looked at his x-rays. All the arteries were clogged, and big fat guy and pain in his hip. And he says, I'm doing a lot better, doc. I had broccoli the other day. And I thought, wow, okay, that's not a whole lot better. That's going in the right direction at least. But you really got to make sure you're giving your body all the nutrients that it needs. If not, you have to have adverse side effects. It's not an option. If I put water in my gas tank, it's not that my car is better than Garrett's car and my car is going to run better. No, the car can't run on water. It has to have the proper fuel. So you got to give the body the right nutrients. And there are certain signs and symptoms that might show up that you can be kind of red flag you and say, okay, there's an issue. Now, you're going to cheat one day. You're going to go out, get a piece of cake. You know what? That's not the end of the world. As long as 99% of the time you're eating right. The problem is when your poor diet is a lifestyle. And so many people have this poor diet as a lifestyle. Now, the good news about this is you can reverse most of these deficiencies with foods that are rich in the missing nutrients, the supplements, or both. So we want to find out what you're missing. So the way we do it in my office, our offices, I shouldn't say mine, ours, is we have you fill out a diet diary, or we talk about your diet, and a symptom survey. And in a symptom survey, it's about 4 pages, and it's little blocks, and you circle 1, 2, or 3. And if you had the symptom in the past 6 months, you circle 1 is mild, 2 is moderate, 3 is severe. And then we do an algorithm, we do a computer algorithm on it, and we say, okay, you know what, Garrett, because you marked off all these symptoms, it looks like you might have a liver issue, you might have a heart issue, you might have an adrenal gland issue. And then we put together a protocol for nutrition, what to eat, what not to eat. And if you want a preview of that, go to our website, drjoe.com, and just type in, so what can I eat? And we did a whole hour lecture. It was me in a studio all by myself, just rambling on like a madman about what you should eat. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, parties, everything. And then the precursor to that would be a lecture we did called The 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition. And The 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition, it's a lecture we did out in California. We filmed it. We had a whole movie crew, actually, Emmy Award-winning makeup artists and lighting and sound and everything. There were other speakers on the panel as well that day, but I wasn't the only one, but I was the main one, of course. And so you want to listen to The 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition and then So What Can I Eat? And all that's on the website, drjoe.com, and just 1,500 hours of other podcasts too. But that'll tell you what to eat, what not to eat. Then we do the symptom survey with you, or the system survey, and we try to see if there's any deficiencies popping up, basically the stuff we're going to talk about today. And then if there is, we put together a protocol. If we need to dig deeper, sometimes we do something called a micronutrient test. And what the micronutrient test is we test your body specifically. We can test for cortisol. We can test for B vitamins. We can test for antioxidant levels. Is your body able to fight off disease? And that's a much more, in-depth test. And so we're able to dig a little deeper into what's going on with your body, and then we can do specific. And we do a hair analysis as well to see if you have heavy metal toxicity. Now, all these things are on our website, drjoe.com. If you go under the services tab, it's a tab in the upper right-hand corner. Just click on that, and you'll see all the services we offer, including the lab tests. But I want to talk about some symptoms you may have and what's going on. Now, it's normal we'll talk about hair first. It's normal to lose about 100 strands of hair a day. But if you notice big clumps of hair coming out on your pillow, on the shower, one of the things you might be low in is iron. Now, for men, it's pretty rare to have an iron deficiency. For postmenopausal women, pretty rare to have an iron deficiency. And in fact, for men and postmenopausal women, I strongly advise that you donate blood whenever you can, if you're eligible to. Because too much iron can be very dangerous. Too much iron, the body doesn't function well. And in fact, it could be, studies are showing now, it could be more dangerous to the heart than high cholesterol. And of course, everybody's getting tested for cholesterol and cholesterol medications. Got to bring down your cholesterol, take this medication, you got to do this, got to do that. Nobody's talking about iron, which could be as bad or worse than high cholesterol. So if you have low iron, it's the easiest, quickest, cheapest way to do it, to find out if you do, is go donate blood. Set up an appointment, go in, they'll take your blood. Before they even drain the blood out of you, they're going to test your iron levels. And if it's too high or too low, they won't take you. So it's a really quick, easy, free way to find out. And then the cover charge for that is you got to give them a pint of blood. So if you have hair loss, it could be that you're low in iron, but find that out first. Now, if you're eating a good diet, if you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, anything that's red, anything that's green is going to give you iron. So if you're eating a salad, red beets, cherries, strawberries, tomatoes, all great sources of iron. If you're eating that, chances are you're not going to have too much iron in your blood. If you're eating things like meat, what's called heme iron. Heme iron comes from blood, like hematology. Heme iron can raise your blood levels dangerously high. And it may be one of the reasons why meat eaters have such a much higher level of things like cancer and heart disease and diabetes and high blood pressure, where plant-based people like myself, extremely low risk of getting chronic diseases. So get your blood tested. It's always a good idea to supplement, and you can supplement with plant-based iron, and one of the best ways to do that is with Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. If you're new to the show, there are 2 powders. They're on the website, drjoe.com, and they are by far our most popular supplements. I can't imagine a day going by and not taking Super Greens and Essential Source. Sometimes I take a double dose. If I have a busy day, if I'm traveling, if I have a lecture, a bunch of radio and television spots, interviews, I'll go ahead and take a double dose later on in the day. So Super Greens and Essential Source, I consider the minimum supplements that everybody should be taking. If you're not doing it, you probably should be. And all that information is on the website, drjoe.com. So we're talking about, do you have a nutrient deficiency? If you're tired all the time, there are 3 S's, sleep, stress, and sickness, and that may be why you're worn out. And if you are worn out, we got to find out why. One of the quickest ways to fix that, in most cases, is vitamin D. Now, you've heard me talk about vitamin D. It's the cheapest insurance policy you'll ever buy. I take 5 drops of Dr. Joe's vitamin D every day. Now, in the summer, I do a lot of yard work. When I get up in the morning, I water my plants. I got two gardens, and I've got blueberries and figs and blackberries. And so I'll get up and I'll water my garden. And I have a stream in my backyard, so I take the water from the stream, and it gives me exercise. I squat, I bend, I lift. So I like getting outside. But if I'm doing it early in the morning, there's not enough sunlight to give me vitamin D. Now, if I can do it in the middle of the day, 20 minutes, I don't need to take vitamin D that day. But generally speaking, it's a good idea to supplement. Now, you do want to get your vitamin D levels checked because you don't want it too low or too high. But the recommended level of vitamin D is 30 nanograms per milliliter. I don't like that. I think that's too low. I want your vitamin D levels between 60 and 80 nanograms per milliliter. That's the ideal place you want to be. So you can get your vitamin D checked. We can do it at our offices. We can check your vitamin D. It's a blood test. It's really amazing when you get that vitamin D level where it needs to be. And a lot of times that gives you the energy that you need. Now, you can get vitamin D from things like tuna or salmon. Problem with that is vitamin D is an oil-based nutrient, just like omega-3 fatty acids you might get from fish. When you cook the fish and you heat it, you can destroy a lot of those fat-based nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids. So people say, well, Dr. Joe, I eat salmon every day, or I eat a lot of salmon. It's got to be wild caught. If it's farm raised, it has almost no omega-3 fatty acids. And if you cook it, the more you cook it, the more you destroy the omega-3s. Now, you shouldn't eat it raw either. So that's why one of many reasons I don't do fish. But you can get the vitamin D from the website, drjoe.com, 5 drops a day. Another symptom that may mean you have a nutrient deficiency is called burning mouth syndrome. And it's pretty much self-explanatory. It makes your gums, your lip, the inside of your cheek, the roof of your mouth feel like it's burning. If that happens, sometimes the mouth goes numb too. One of the things that it could be a shortage of are B vitamins like folate, thiamine, B6. When you take Dr. Joe's Essential Source, you're getting a lot of B vitamins. I also take Dr. Joe's B complex every day because B vitamins are so important for the nervous system. We talked about that earlier. The nervous system needs B vitamins to function normally. So we got to make sure you're getting the right nutrients in your body, and so that's why I supplement every day. I've been studying health for 40 years. I'm getting pretty good at it. I've written books, award-winning books, radio shows. I have one of the largest radio shows in the world, if not the largest health and wellness radio show in the world. The website, drjoe.com, is just a plethora of medical knowledge, as a friend of mine once said. Herman Cain, unfortunately, passed away. But he said, Dr. Joe, you are a plethora of medical knowledge. So B vitamins are so important. If there was a better way to obtain and maintain good health, I would be doing it personally. It's not like I have some secret. It's not like we doctors have a conspiracy. We don't tell you what we're doing. I want to tell you everything I'm doing. If there's a better way to do it, and sometimes we've learned new ways to do it, I teach it to you. So to obtain and maintain good health, nervous system has to be working. That's chiropractic care. Digestive system has to be working. That's chiropractic and nutrition. And then you have to have a good diet. And there's so much information on the website, drjoe.com. But one of the easiest deficiencies to fix are B complex, B vitamin deficiencies. So Essential Source, and I take Dr. Joe's B complex as well. The good part about B vitamins, you have to take a really lot of them to have an adverse effect. If you take too much, the body just pees it out. So that's why it's one of those safe vitamins to take. If you have dry skin, you might have a vitamin A deficiency. Now, I don't recommend you take vitamin A supplements. I recommend you take something called beta-carotene. Beta-carotene is the precursor to vitamin A. Too much vitamin A is toxic. Too much beta-carotene is not toxic. So if you're going to take a supplement, I recommend beta-carotene. And Essential Source, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, is a great source of beta-carotene. And if you're eating green leafy vegetables like spinach, kale, orange vegetables like sweet potatoes, carrots, cantaloupe, apricots, you're getting plenty of beta-carotene. Again, beta-carotene, not toxic. Vitamin A as a supplement can be toxic. So skin issues, a lot of patients have told me they start taking Essential Source and Super Greens, and a lot of their skin issues go away. Why? B vitamins, beta-carotene. It's a great across-the-board mass spectrum supplement. And it tastes good too. So it's on the website, drjoe.com. Your fingernails can tell a lot about your health. And if you start getting spoon-like shapes of your fingernails, that can be a sign of something called hemochromatosis. And that's a condition where your body absorbs too much iron. Now, once again, if you can donate blood, donate it, because that'll help bring down your iron levels. That's why I recommend men and postmenopausal women donate blood on a regular basis, because you don't want to build up too much iron. And so if you have hemochromatosis, you might want to see a doctor, one of us, so we can take a look at it for you. If you start having cracks in the roof of your mouth, or you start getting chapped lips a lot, many times that's B vitamins like riboflavin and B12. So once again, Dr. Joe's B complex and Essential Source is how I solve that problem. But I also eat a really good diet. I eat at least one meal a day that's raw, which is usually a salad. I try to have something raw at every meal. I eat plant-based. I haven't had any animal products in over 35 years. So again, if there was a better way to do it, I'd be doing it, folks. If meatball sandwiches were better than broccoli, trust me, I'd eat meatball sandwiches every day. I miss my meatball sandwiches. I'm Italian. So the good news is when I first got this crazy lifestyle, actually it's a normal lifestyle, it was a little more challenging. But now there's plant-based options everywhere. I don't know, I can't remember ever being in a restaurant where you couldn't get something plant-based at home. And there's even like frozen stuff now. It's processed. I don't recommend you do a lot of that, but there's veggie burgers. Veggie burgers are skyrocketing in the stock market. Restaurants now offer them. You're seeing veggie chicken coming out now. Now, again, those are processed foods, and I'm not saying they're healthy, but you see the tide is shifting. All the work I've done for all these years, I feel like I'm right. Finally, somebody's saying, okay, Dr. Joe was right all these years. Let's go ahead and make this the way the world should eat. You know, we talk about, global warming and greenhouse gases. All right, stop eating meat. It's very simple. Stop eating meat. Greenhouse gases go away. Problem is solved. Okay, because you have more plants, which solves the problem, and you stop killing the animals, which is the production and manufacture is causing a lot of these greenhouse gases. If you're an animal lover, I get a kick out of this. I was talking to a wonderful woman in my life who's 17 years old, and she said, I love animals. And I said, why do you eat them? She goes, I don't eat the cute ones. That was her answer. But my feeling is that if you love animals, don't eat animals. You want to solve a lot of health problems? Don't eat animals. You want to solve a lot of these health issues? Don't eat animals. Because the difference is then you're going to eat a lot more fruits and vegetables, and the fruits and vegetables are going to give you the nutrients. And that's why regardless of your choices, and I never ostracize anyone for their choices, at least Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, the minimum supplements you should be taking every day. You might have a swollen tongue. It's called glossitis, and the tongue becomes smooth and glossy. And guess what that's a deficiency of? B vitamins. You got it. See? So it really is important to get these supplements in your diet. If you're eating a good diet, I supplement anyway. If you're not eating a good diet, you should be supplementing anyway. And so Super Greens and Essential Source will be the minimum supplements every day. And then the B vitamins, of course, Dr. Joe's B complex. A lot of times people have emotional disorders. And we talked about that earlier with the nervous system. If you have apathy, if you just don't have a lot of energy, if you just don't care. I've met a lot of people in life and they just get to the point where they don't care about their health, they don't care about their looks, they don't care about their family, they don't care about work. Many times that's a nutritional deficiency. And that's what we're talking about today, nutritional deficiencies. And so if you have that, once again, what am I going to say? B vitamins. The B vitamin folate, folic acid, helps the body make red blood cells, and that creates chemicals that helps the body function more efficiently. So if you feel forgetful, weak, apathetic, lack of energy, lack of enthusiasm, it might be something as simple as a B vitamin. And I've had a lot of therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, pain management experts in therapy, addiction experts. And I tell them, guys, if you're not willing to do anything else from a chemical standpoint, at least put your patients on B vitamins. And when they do, the results are astounding because the other therapies then work better. I don't care how much therapy you go to. If your brain isn't capable of understanding and processing the therapy, it ain't going to work. I am a huge fan of therapy, mental therapy. I think it's great. I think everyone should go to a therapist because you have to learn certain things in life. How to have a relationship. Nobody teaches you how to have a relationship, and not just a romantic relationship. What about a business relationship? What about a family relationship? What about somebody at church or work? So sometimes therapy is the answer because really it just makes you think about it and go, oh, that makes sense. But you also have to make sure you have the nutrients so the brain can function. So apathy, a lack of energy, enthusiasm, sometimes it's as simple as Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, B vitamins, and nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels and increases circulation. So that's something else I add when people are tired all the time too. If you bruise easily, you may not have enough vitamin C. And how do you know if you're at risk? You might have an eating disorder. You don't eat enough. You don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. You eat too little because you're sick. I had a cancer patient the other day, and she said, Dr. Joe, I just don't feel like eating. I said, you have to take Super Greens and Essential Source. I recommended a double dose for her. I said, that's your prescription from me. I can't prescribe drugs. I don't prescribe drugs. But I will say your prescription is you have to take Super Greens and Essential Source morning and afternoon. I said, regardless of it, you have to take it. And then she started taking it, and then she said, I'm starting to feel better already. So really important that you do that. If you smoke, that can be, you're sucking up the vitamin C. Vitamin C is an antioxidant. Smoking creates something called free radicals. I used to say in my lectures that if you had a cigarette, you get 100 billion free radicals per puff of cigarettes. So imagine a number 100 billion molecules eating away at your body. I was wrong. I had to retract that statement years later. It's not 100 billion. It's 100 trillion free radicals per puff of cigarettes. And that goes for vaping as well. So you're creating these free radicals just literally eating away at your body. It's like pouring acid into your lungs. So if you're doing that, folks, you got to take antioxidants, and Super Green, Essential Source, and B Complex are great antioxidants. So if you bruise easily, you're not getting enough B vitamin C, citrus, bell pepper, citrus fruit, tomatoes, broccoli, Super Greens, Essential Source. Vitamin C is also vital for the immune system. So if the immune system isn't working properly, that's going to be something you have to get into your body as well. Now, while we're talking about iron and nutrients, researchers have found a connection between the intake of iron and omega-6 fatty acids. So if you have a lot of iron in your diet, or you're taking iron supplements, and you're eating a lot of omega-6 fatty acids, the high iron intake and elevated polyunsaturated fatty acids can be associated with something called peripheral neuropathy. Now, as a pain management doctor and a chiropractor and board certified in orthopedics and nutrition and pain management and traumatic brain injury, and I got a lot of degrees behind me. we see a lot of patients with called peripheral neuropathy, pain in the arms or legs. Now, many times it's a pinched nerve. So chiropractic care many times solves the problem, but we also have to add the nutrition component. And if you have diabetes and you get peripheral neuropathy, even worse. But if you're intaking a lot of vegetable oils, not so much coconut oil or olive oil or almond oil, but soybean oil, corn oil. These are high in something called omega-6 fatty acids. And omega-6 fatty acids cause inflammation. And every disease known to man has an inflammatory component. So my goal with every patient I ever see, and with everybody listening right now, is I want to get you in an anti-inflammatory mode. And the easiest way to do that is get your diet straightened out. Stop eating foods that are high in omega-6 fatty acids. Soybean oil, corn oil, vegetable oils. Cut those out, folks. And you don't want to use a lot of oil anyway. Oil is still processed. So I'll use a little bit of olive oil sometimes, extra virgin organic, coconut oil perhaps, but not often. So you really want to cut out the processed oils from your diet. Now, things like avocados, nuts, those aren't processed. They're okay. But the processed oils are the problems. And if you have polyunsaturated fats and the iron in the body, that's a problem. And the ratio, and you want to have omega-3 fatty acids to counteract the omega-6s. The ratio of omega-6s, the bad ones, to omega-3s, the good ones, should be 1-to-1. Most people have 10-to-1 omega-6s to omega-3s, sometimes 20 or 30-to-1. That's a formula for chronic inflammation. So cut out those processed oils, eat more whole foods, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. If you don't know what to eat, go to our website, drjoe.com, type in, "So what can I eat?" And we did a whole hour lecture for you. The book I wrote called Eating Right for the Health of It is an excellent guide on what to eat. That's available on the website, drjoe.com. We discuss what to eat constantly on our shows. So if you go to the website, drjoe.com, we have over 1,500 hours of podcasts. If you're a podcast junkie, go to your podcast service, Dr. Joe, type in Dr. Joe for the health of it, That's our podcast on your podcast services. The website is there 24 hours a day. We post on social media constantly. So I want you to follow us. This is your homework assignment. Do it right now. Your homework, just for all this great information you just got for free. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Dr. Joe Esposito, Esposito. And if you have a health issue, neck pain, back pain, headaches, digestive issues, sciatica, arthritis, come see us. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We would love to be your doctors. The initial visit is normally $375. We've reduced that to $250. Exam, x-rays, consultation, first adjustment, going over the x-rays on your follow-up visit, and a complete nutritional evaluation. We do accept insurance because if we go that far, you're going to need more care. So we do accept insurances, car accidents, sports injuries. If you're ever in a car accident, folks, if the car was damaged, you were damaged. You need to see us immediately. If you don't, the insurance company may deny your claim. So don't say, "I'm going to do it next week," whatever. You may lose all your legal rights if you don't come see us right away. And stop suffering. The biggest complaint I get is, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I suffer when I could have gotten chiropractic care to help my spine, my digestive system, the proper supplements, the nutrients, the advice from Dr. Joe and his staff? We can't charge you enough for the advice we give you. I believe that every adjustment is probably worth $1 million. If you restore somebody's health, can you put a price on that? No. But it's very affordable. It's very easy. You can book an appointment right now on the website. Go to the website, drjoe.com. Click on the office you want to go to. Book an appointment right now. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Again, social media at Dr. Joe Esposito. See you soon.